Hey everybody. So we did a live for reviewing the Taylor Swift merch store and the audio didn't really come through. So I'm actually going to record this differently and post this as a video. So I wanted to really make sure that everyone saw and was able to understand everything about the Taylor Swift store that we had covered. We are going to do a lot more different e-commerce store reviews just for fun and just to kind of go over what's the latest trends and whatnot. So let's get into it. Now, as you can see, we're on the Taylor Swift store. And as I said in the live stream, what I really like about this store is the branding. As you guys know, I'm always preaching about the brand Bible, right? You know, you have your colors, you have your fonts all labeled out, your logo in different shapes and sizes and forms. But I don't know, I'm not really too familiar with Taylor Swift, but as you can see, this they use a lot of aqua. So if you look through, even on the jacket here, the print here, and just the background colors here, it's all aqua. So I'd assume that's her a color that she likes or is part of her brand. So again, this is where that consistent brand really helps. And again, the story I used before is my daughter and I, we were at, now it's called the Horseshoe. It was called Bally's before, but now it's the Horseshoe. And we were looking around for Wahlburgers. We wanted to go to eat a burger. And so we were looking around, and it's kind of tough because the stores are all lined up straight. So what you do is, if you're standing on one of the end of the aisle, you stand at the end of the aisle and you look down and all you just see is a row of stores. And then you go over to the next aisle. It's like you're in a big shopping, like a grocery store. You stand at the end of the aisle, you look down the aisle, you can see kind of what's on the side and what's directly on the other side, and that's it. And so we kept going out and we couldn't see what it was. But finally I looked across and I saw that green. The green is actually what caught my eyes because of the sun was hitting it. And so I knew that green was associated with Wahlburgers. And from there I could tell. Then I saw the logo, right? The W and the Wahlburger sign. So not really a plug for them, but all I'm saying is that green was kind of ingrained in your head about what color that is. And once I saw that green, I knew exactly, what, where it was. And so that really helped. So again, having your brand Bible, having your brand colors labeled out is important. And so let's scroll down here. We're just going to go review this. Let's see. So let's look at this. We're just looking at the products on the home screen. The Life of a Showgirl Violet Blue hoodie. I really don't know why they would call it Violet Blue. Yeah, it is a Violet Blue. Okay, so as you can see, they offer everything from youth, wow, all the way to 4X. We call those quads. And what I really like about this is the way that that's moving. So it really catches your eye. Obviously, this is on desktop. This is not how it's going to look on mobile, I assume. But still, if you're looking at this on a desktop version, it's really good. And so they have this hoodie listed for $75. They have a full color front print, 2 sleeves, white color, or more like that blue. So that's a 2 color print. Don't forget, when it's a 1 color print on a darker shirt, we consider that for screen printing a 2 color print, because you need to base the white. You need to base the color. So what you do is you lay down the white base, you flash it, and then you put the color down after that. So technically it's a 2 color, not a big deal. $75. What are the specs of the hoodie? 100% cotton. So they could have DTG'd this as well. It's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, they could have DTG'd this. So $75, pretty good deal. Limit 4 per order. As you can see, they added machine wash cold. That's good. Model measurements, I like that. Where they have the model measurements, so you can kind of see what it looks like compared to what your measurements are. Okay, so let's go back to the home page. And we have this shirt now, The Life of a Showgirl. It's Rapturous t-shirt, $45. What I do like about this one is you can see that they have the inside label marked. So what you do is for shirts, they'll either have removable labels or they call them tearaway labels, or what I've seen some companies do is they've actually carefully cut out the label, the t-shirt label or the manufacturer's label, and then re-sew the shirt. Kind of a lot of work, but when you're at this caliber, obviously that's nothing is too much, right? So this looks like to be a one color. It is a low print here, so that is a little bit of a pain. I'd like to see $45. Let's see, that's a bit much. But again, this is where brand comes in, right? Yeah, print in green on the front. So again, this is where brand comes in. It's the t-shirt costs them, X amount of dollars, probably not that much depending on which one it is. And even if it is a premium t-shirt, it's not costing that much money. And this is a one color print. So again, this one is not costing that much money, but they can charge $45, right? Oh, okay. So let's see. So this is something I was talking about earlier. As you can see, so they have youth available. They have small and medium, then large, XL, extra large, which we call XL, and 2X we call doubles. So large, XL, and doubles, they are all unavailable. So what that means is, and again, this is, a bigger brand, so they can do this. When you have a e-commerce store, you need to figure out a merch store. E-commerce clothing brand store. You need to figure out. There's two ways to do it. You could either do, you can print a large run, and then hold inventory and then sell it off as it goes. So the pros of that obviously is the cost is going to be a lot cheaper, because to set up the press, you just set it up one time and then it just spins, right? And so whether you're printing 100 shirts, 1,000 shirts, 10,000 shirts, it just, once you set the press up, it's locked in and it just runs. And that's a good way to definitely bring down your cost for the cost of the shirt, which is good. The only issue with that is the con is now you're guessing on what sizes and quantities you're going to sell out of. And so what happened was, because the large XLs and doubles are unavailable, that means they basically sold out of them. And so they have a lot of they have small, mediums, they have triples and quads available, 3X and 4X, and all the youth sizes. And so what they did was not that they miscalculated, but they've sold out of large XLs and doubles, and they still have other sizes available. And so that's kind of the issue when you run with screen printing all the shirts at once. Also, depending how big you are, I know these people probably have 3PLs, but you're also holding inventory, which means, let's just say you print 1,000 shirts. It's 72 shirts to a case typically. So a case meaning one box. So let's just do easy math. If you print 720, then roughly you're going to hold around 10 cases or 10 boxes. And so you have 10 boxes stacked up. Now, that's only for one shirt. What if you have 10 different designs, 20 different designs? And I saw that, and we'll go over this later, but she has jackets. Jackets maybe come 12 to a box. And so if you have 120 jackets, 12 to a box, now you have 10 boxes. And so that's the issue with that is that you're holding inventory. And so you're not only holding inventory, but you also need someone to what's called pick, pack, and ship, where an order comes in, They say, hey, this Life of a Showgirl, it's a Rapturous t-shirt, a size medium sold, one. So someone has to go out to the warehouse, pick a medium, make sure it's the right one, package it, pack, and then ship it out, right? Do the fulfillment. And so the other way to do fulfillment for clothing brands is print on demand, right? POD. And so that means that we don't print anything until an order is done. Now, the issue with that is that obviously the cost is going to be a lot more, because rather than setting up the press one time and letting it spin, right? Then now we're doing one at a time, which takes a lot more time. And so this is a cotton, I don't know if this is a cotton shirt or not. Yeah, 100% cotton. Okay, so 100% cotton, they could either DTG it, they could DTF it. I don't know what they plan on doing. And so another thing you can do too is this inside label right here. This inside label right here, what a lot of clothing brands will do is they'll get, let's just say 1,000 shirts, and they'll pick various sizes. And then at one time, to make it cheaper, they'll print the inside labels. And so again, same thing, right? You set the press up and you just let it run, you let it spin, and that's it. But rather than, each time someone orders, you have to cut out the label, press it on probably through a heat press. You probably heat press it onto a transfer, and then, it just takes more time. So that's something to consider when you are doing a clothing brand. Do you order, let's say, 288 pieces and just guess the sizes? If you're a newer clothing brand, that may be more difficult. You're obviously going to have to take into consideration who your audience is. Like, for instance, we print for I mentioned on Kaku is the goalkeeper coach. So he knows that these goalkeepers are either young, or they're younger, middle school, or they're high school, or they're college. And obviously, because they're playing a high-level competitive sport, most of them are in shape. So we don't really print a lot of doubles or triples, if ever. And, and even extra large. We don't even print extra large for them. It's mostly small, mediums, and large, and youth. And so, if you know what your customer base is, you can kind of guess what, which ratio to order from. But again, the issue is you're guessing, right? So you may sell out of large and XL, and you'll be stuck holding a bunch of mediums. And that's why you'll see a lot of these clothing brands will have specials. They'll say, limited special, 50% off, but it's only a size small or a size medium. That's because they're holding that inventory. They're holding that shirt. No one in that size is getting it, so they have to just try and sell it out, either to get more revenue or clear out inventory space. All right, so let's look at this jacket. This is a bomber jacket. Looks really nice. It's kind of hard to tell if this is... Okay, so they imprinted it here. Yeah, it's embroidered. Is it embroidered? It looks like embroidered. So they have here embroidered. Oh, and then there's a print on the back. That's going to be printed. Okay. $150, that's actually a pretty good deal, depending on the quality of the jacket. But yeah, that's a pretty good deal. And that's another thing too, is I don't know, I can't see. It's probably not, but something that is growing in popularity is what's called mixed media. Mixed media means that there's a combination of print and embroidery. And so let's just say for this mixed media, they may embroider or have a patch of the Life of a Showgirl. And so what that means is it may be embroidered. And then the eyes will be printed, and everything else would be printed. Maybe the Life of a Showgirl would be embroidered along with Taylor Swift. and then everything else is printed. And so that's a combination of embroidery and then printing. So typically what we do is we will print it first, and we mark the design. We know exactly where the middle of the design is, and then that's where we can configure the design in the digitized file, and then we know exactly where to print the embroidery. But I'm not saying that's what this is. I don't know. I can't see it. I can't zoom in. But that is something that you can think of. Again, obviously, it's a little bit more expensive to manufacture and produce, but you can also sell it for more. And again, if you have a good brand, that's a good thing. Okay, white T-shirt. Okay, so this is 100% cotton. I don't know. They have the Life of the Showgirl on a back print. It's kind of odd the way they place that. I don't know if that's really there. Yeah, I guess it's on the back side. Okay. White shirts are going to honestly be the easiest to print. It's 100% cotton, so they're probably just DTGing this. And then they'll probably DTG the front, well, depending again how much run they're doing. And then they'll, if they're doing a lot, then they'll just screen print it. But if they were doing this on a POD, print on demand, then they would probably just DTG this and then screen print the back. But who knows? $45, that's a little much. But again, this is where brand really comes and helps you out. Okay, so let's just actually look at the website here. I really do like the pictures. There's a good, fun girl vibe. I'm immortal now. Hats. Let's look at a hat. Okay, so the side here is going to be embroidered, right? And usually you usually embroider on the left side. So when you have a hat, normally, typically it's the front, and then if you do on the side, it's the left side. Sometimes you go over in the back. But this is going to be pressed on with that could be a transfer, and because that's not going to be embroidered. But this Taylor Swift will be embroidered. So this is a snapback hat, meaning it's adjustable. 65.35 for $35. I guess that's not bad. That's not bad for a hat. I've seen some clothing brands that have pretty expensive hats. So again, this is I keep saying it, but brand really helps. And so we'll keep scrolling down. This is a nice picture. I love how everyone's wearing the merch. And this is where also, you have to think, if you're running a clothing brand, you could either do the best thing to do is try and get live models if you can. Get live models wearing the merch. For a while, maybe this was 3-4 years back, when AI was coming on board, you could put your logo on a generic person's T-shirt, and that was fine. That was good. But the problem is, as more people started using it, you could easily tell that was an AI-generated photo and not something that's more authentic with an actual photo. And I know it's a hassle. We've done photo shoots ourselves, with my daughter's thing with States Royalty, coordinating all the models, the hair, the makeup, the location. Make sure you get a location release if you need to. Doing the wardrobe, all that stuff, who's going to wear what you're trying to promote, all this stuff. I even think from the background in terms of your style you're going for, what look you're going for. It can be a little bit much, but you don't have to overcomplicate things. Just get someone out there, take some nice photos, and take some nice video, and you'll have a lot of good content for your clothing brand. Okay, another hat here. Yeah, so she's selling her hats for $35. So again, this is all embroidery here, again, with the side embroidery TS, black hat, 100% cotton hat. And again, it's adjustable. So, yeah. Nice embroidery stitching. I don't think that's hard to tell, but I don't think that's puff. Puff is going to be 3D embroidery where it stands out more. For that, what you do is you get foam, and you put, yeah, well, I'm not too familiar with it, but I know you embroider it over the foam, and then you got to heat shrink it and all that stuff. Our production people would probably know more about that than I would. Okay, so let's go back up to the home page. Let's look at some of these links. Okay, so this is this is all the desktop version. This is what you call it's a drop menu. It's as you hover over it, the menu comes out and shows, which is really nice. Typically you have, as soon as I do this, so this is going to be, and the menu is separated into columns. So they're just using one column here. As you can see, there's a lot of room right here to the right that they could have put extra stuff in, but they just focused on this one column. And I assume, yeah, these are all the albums, shot by album. So as she puts out an album, she probably has a different set of merch designs and concepts with it, which is really cool. Okay, merch. Again, so this is on the menu. They're using 3 columns now, right? 1, 2, 3. And they offer apparel, hoodies and crew necks, t-shirts, long sleeves, pants and shorts, all apparel, accessories, hats, bags, jewelry, nice, phone cases. Surprised they don't have tanks in here. But let's look at t-shirts. Okay, so again, I guess she really likes when the print goes all the way to the bottom, because this is the second design we've seen of that. Let's quick view. I like the quick view buttons that show just like the very highlights of it. Oh, shop on or about March 21st. So this is a pre-sale. No, because it's unavailable on. Oh, ships. I'm sorry, ships on. Okay, so that's not a pre-sale, which actually brings up me to another concept. Is it's always good if you could also do a pre-sale. Pre-sales are great because then you're not guessing on the size, right? So you come up with a design, it's a new merch drop, pre-sale only, and you put it on your socials, and people order it, they pay for it, and they order it. But the good thing is we know now exactly how much of each size you need, right? You're not guessing. So we print exactly what was ordered, and we fulfill exactly what was ordered, and there's no extra inventory to hold on to. So if you could end up doing pre-sales, then that's great. I know a lot of clothing brands utilize pre-sales for that very reason, because if you can get, and I know some either limit the quantity, let's just say the first 100 people only, which again is FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. They do that, or they just open up the pre-sale for however many, and maybe 500 pieces sell. And so as you keep printing more, the cost of each per unit piece comes down, right? So because again, once you set up the press, it's just easy for the thing to spin. And so it's really just the setup time and all that. It's more of a pain to set up a 6, 7, 8 color job for 12 shirts as opposed to 1,200 shirts, right? And so that's why as you order more, the price comes down. Okay, these are pretty cool. These are going to be probably custom. Is this a crop sweater? Yeah, this is going to be custom for sure. $70. So they just embroidered it here. Left chest embroidery, $70. I guess that's not too bad. Who are we? Who are we to fight the alchemy t-shirt? So again, what they did here is, let's look. So this is on sale. I think it was $45. Now it's $39. They still have all the sizes available. So I guess this is a little older. and they're just trying to sell out. If they're running a sale, it makes me believe that they're still holding inventory, because if they were doing print on demand, they would probably just, and they were sold out, they would probably just take it off of their website, right? They wouldn't offer this design anymore. But because they're offering and they have all the different sizes available, that leads me to believe that they printed a whole bunch and they still have extra just sitting in their warehouse taking up inventory. Again, this is where you start to kind of issues. Not that Taylor Swift doesn't care, but the people that are running her 3PL or her fulfillment, it's just they're trying to get everything and recoup as much as they can, and so they'll reduce the price. So again, by having all the inventory and reducing the price, it makes me believe that this may be like an older shirt that they are having a hard time selling out of. Let's see, merch, music. I like how she puts her music, I guess, for sale on here in sale items. Okay, 13% off. That's good. And I covered this in the live, but let's just do this. And I was blown away by this. Yeah, $2 billion. Oh, there was actually an actual article about how much she made in merch alone, and I don't know if I remember this correctly. Maybe it was $200 million in merch alone. $900 million in ticket sales. I don't know. Okay, so here's the Eras Tour merchandise sales are astronomically high, which is awesome. Okay. Taylor Swift can make money like nobody in the music industry. All right. How much did she make? Only at merch. So she earned $185 million, but that doesn't say what the merch is. Where's the figure? Did I miss it? Maybe I skimmed too fast. Oh, here. No, that's in ticket sales. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, 200 million, right? So the singer reportedly made $200 million from the sale of T-shirts, sweatshirts, and other items emblazoned with her name and logo from the concerts alone. That's awesome. And that's just from one concert tour, right? That doesn't include all the other ones she's done in the past. And so, people kind of make fun of merch where it says, you can't really do much with it, but it's a good additional revenue stream that works, especially if you have a good brand. And so if you have a good brand, it really can come into play. So good for her. Obviously, like I said in my original live stream, obviously she has a big team that does this. So this is a good, or she has an agency that runs this, obviously. So this is a good thing to look at. I do like the design of it. Again, I like the consistent branding with the teal or the aqua in the background. And so, yeah, I think she's doing everything right, obviously. So it's a good thing. We have a lot of different e-commerce sites that we're going to review, and it's just a fun thing, obviously, that this is something that we do day in and day out. And so it's fun to see what other people are doing and how they're running their stores, and to see the potential that merchandise sales can bring in. But anyway, this is a supplement. You can check out the live stream, but again, the audio was a little off, so we're going to try a different way to do this. But if this works, we're going to keep going. And thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.